Attention passionate Detroit, Lions fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the NFC North and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Detroit Lions' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Detroit Lions fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your FRINDS and Detroit Lions fans. Let's get to the news. Now, folks, if you've been paying attention to what's been happening around the NFL, especially in the NFC North, you know that the Detroit Lions are not just sitting back and waiting for things to happen. No, sir. They've been making some strategic moves, some that could truly define their future in the league, especially as they gear up for what promises to be an exciting 2024 season. And one of the biggest stories right now revolves around their defense, specifically their pass rush, which has been a topic of conversation among fans, analysts, and management alike. Because, let's be honest, the Lions' defense has shown flashes of brilliance, but also moments of vulnerability that could cost them dearly if not addressed properly. Recently, news broke that the Lions are faced with a tough reality, losing Levi Onwuzurike for the entire season due to injury. That's a huge blow, especially considering Onwuzurike's role on the defensive line. Last season, he was showing some promise, recording 13 quarterback hits, 28 tackles, and even a tackle for a loss. Those stats might not jump off the page for the casual fan, but for a defensive line that's trying to build consistency and pressure on opposing quarterbacks, losing a player like Levi is a significant setback. The Lions were counting on him to be a disruptive force, especially as they try to solidify their pass rush, which has been a question mark in recent seasons. This injury creates an urgent need for the Lions to reinforce that part of their team. And here's where things get interesting. The Lions, traditionally known for their innovative approach and smart roster management, are apparently eyeing a potential reunion with one of their former players, Za'Darius Smith. Yes, you heard that right. Za'Darius Smith, the veteran pass rusher who was brought in midseason last year after the Lions lost Aiden Hutchinson to injury, could be back in Detroit sooner rather than later. This isn't just speculation. It's a real possibility that the Lions are considering, especially given their current needs and the veterans' familiarity with the team's system. Za'Darius Smith was drafted in the 4th round of the 2015 NFL Draft and has built quite a reputation as a reliable pass rusher over the years. When the Lions acquired him last season, it was seen as a smart move, a quick fix to bolster their front line. Smith made an immediate impact, showcasing his ability to generate pressure, something that the Lions desperately need. In the time he was with Detroit, he registered several quarterback hits and contributed significantly to their pass rush, helping the team keep opponents on their toes. But as with many NFL roster moves, salary cap considerations and financial constraints meant that Detroit couldn't keep him around in the offseason. They had to let him go before his bonuses kicked in, which was a tough choice but a financially prudent one. However, the Lions' front office has always left the door open for possible reunions with key players, especially those who fit their scheme and culture. And now, with the loss of Levi and the need to add depth and experience, bringing Za'Darius Smith back on a one-year deal makes a lot of sense. It's a move that could give the Lions a much-needed boost in their pass rush, especially in critical moments. Smith's veteran presence and pass rushing skills could be exactly what Detroit needs to improve their defensive production and prevent opponents from exploiting their weaknesses on the line. But let's not forget, the NFL is a competitive league, and Za'Darius Smith isn't the only team interested in his services. Other franchises are also eyeing him, knowing that his skill set could help bolster their pass rush and add veteran leadership to their defensive units. The Washington Commanders, for instance, are a team that could benefit from adding a reliable veteran like Smith. After losing Dante Fowler Jr. in free agency, they're looking to fill that void with someone who can bring a consistent pass rush and veteran know-how to their front. The Commanders aren't rebuilding anymore, they're trying to make a push, and signing someone like Za'Darius Smith could be part of that plan. Similarly, the New Orleans Saints are also showing interest. They've been aging defensively, especially with players like Demario Davis and Cameron Jordan, who are still effective but could use some fresh help, especially in the pass rush department. The Saints recently made some offensive moves, like trading for Davon Godchaux, but their defense needs bolstering, and a seasoned veteran like Smith could be just what they're looking for to provide leadership and production up front. On the other hand, the Los Angeles Chargers are also in the mix, mainly because they're looking to rebuild their offensive weapons after Mike Williams' retirement. But they can't ignore their defensive needs, especially with the recent losses of Dashon Hand, Tier Tart, and Atito Ogbania. The Chargers could turn to a veteran like Smith to add some old-school grit to their trenches. It's a classic case of a team trying to balance both sides of the ball, and a veteran pass rusher with Smith's experience can be a game-changer in that regard. And then there's the Baltimore Ravens, who are going through a bit of a defensive overhaul. Losing Jadeveon Clowney, Patrick Queen, and Malik Harrison has left some gaps in their defense. The Ravens are trying to patch things up, and while signing John Jenkins is a step, adding a player like Smith could be the missing piece to really solidify their front. Sometimes, a veteran presence can make all the difference, especially when trying to build a defense capable of contending for a Super Bowl. Looking at all these potential suitors, it's clear that Za'Darius Smith remains highly sought after. But for the Lions, the opportunity is right there on the table. They know how much he can bring to the table, especially in terms of pass rush, leadership, and experience. So, a reunion seems not only plausible, but also strategically smart. The Lions need to fill that void left by Levi Onwuzurike's injury, and Smith could be the perfect short-term solution to keep their defense formidable as they push toward their championship ambitions. Now, it's not just about filling a roster spot, it's about making a statement. The Lions have been building something special under Dan Campbell's leadership. They've shown resilience, grit, and a real desire to take that next step into true contender status. Reinforcing the pass rush with a veteran like Smith could be the move that propels them over the edge, especially against tough NFC North rivals like the Green Bay Packers or Minnesota Vikings. The division is getting tougher every year, with teams investing heavily in their defenses, and Detroit has to respond in kind. If you think about the bigger picture, Detroit's defense was a mixed bag last year. They've got Aiden Hutchinson, who's established himself as a premier pass rusher, but they need more consistency on the line. Bringing back Za'Darius Smith could give them that edge, someone who's been there, done that, and knows how to get after the quarterback. With Smith's experience, he can mentor the younger players, helping them develop and step up their game, which is crucial for a team that's still building that championship culture. And let's not forget, the Lions have a lot to play for this season. After coming so close last year, falling just short in the playoffs, they're hungry for redemption. Their roster is stacked with talent, their coaching staff is motivated, and the fans are more passionate than ever. The addition of a veteran pass rusher like Smith could be the final piece in the puzzle, a move that might just tip the scales in their favor when the stakes are at their highest. So, for all the Lions fans out there, this isn't just about a potential signing or a roster move. It's about the vision of a team that's determined to make a real statement in the league. It's about building a defense that can dominate in the trenches, pressure the quarterback, and make life miserable for opposing offenses. It's about creating a culture of resilience, leadership, and winning. And if bringing back Za'Darius Smith is part of that plan, then fans should be excited because it signals that the Lions are serious about contending and not just participating. Pause here just for a second. If you want the YouTube algorithm to keep recommending the latest Detroit Lions news to you, it's super important that you leave a like on this video. Go ahead, it's quick and it makes a big difference. Thank you. Now let us continue with the big reveal. And now, Detroit Lions fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this possible reunion with Za'Darius Smith? Do you think it's the move that could push Detroit over the top? Or do you believe the team should look elsewhere to reinforce their pass rush? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and to the Lions. We're all in this together, dreaming of another Super Bowl run, and every opinion, every suggestion, every voice counts. Remember, this is just the beginning of what promises to be an exciting season for Detroit, and I'll be back soon with more updates and insights. So stay tuned, keep that Lions passion alive, and let's keep pushing forward together. Because no matter what, Detroit Lions fans, we're in this for the long haul, and this team is only getting better. Thanks for listening, and I'll see you in the next video.